Questions for Coach Roos?
Coach, would you start with the one that's on everybody's mind? I mean, can you give us an update on Kurt's situation?
Honestly, we've traded text messages back and forth. He sent me a couple of joking text messages that asked if we were trying to give him a heart attack instead of another stroke after some of the close calls and the overtime. So he was joking about that, but we've done nothing more than that. He's updated me with the fact that he's still waiting for some results, but his status is still the same, day to day. Nothing's changed since the Central Michigan press conference where day to day. I wish I could give you more, but it's, yeah, day to day.
If I remember correctly from Saturday, you said that he was hoping to have results today. Is that?
Yes.
So, I mean, trying to extrapolate here.
I think he's got a couple other appointments, but nothing more.
Okay.
We had practice early this morning, so I have not talked to him today.
And he was not here for practice?
Correct.
Okay.
Is he not permitted? Is the idea just stay at home and rest?
He is resting round the clock, so which is hard for him to do with his personality, as you well know. He's very upbeat and always on the go. But if you all remember from the statement, his doctor did release him to coach, but they said you just can't coach like you typically would. So he's going to probably evolve his coaching style a little bit, and he will definitely be a little bit calmer. His passion will remain as high as ever, but nothing. He is clear, but he's the one that's kind of made the choice to. I'm just going to relax a little bit.
On Saturday, what was your communication with him before, during, even after the game?
Honestly, he let us be. You would think he would be texting us constantly with some updates and some advice, but the only thing he texted me was good luck, have fun with the kids. He did the same as well, and it was. I knew he would be extremely nervous watching. He's never watched a game from home, so just wanted to come out of the gates really well, and unfortunately we did not do that with 3 of our first 4 possessions being turnovers. So I knew he would be rolling his eyes, but he just wished everybody good luck. And as soon as we all turn our phones afterwards, he had a message to each player and our staff saying congratulations. It was a great overtime win.
You said you were getting joking text from him. Did he give any critical or critique of the game? Did he give a written, 3-page written scouting report?
No, he didn't. But I know 2 play calls in particular that we called that were wrong. So I know he was probably going crazy with that. So, but ironically, you can call a play call, and if it's wrong and it still works out, I always tell him it's still a right play call if a bad one works out well.
And how difficult has this been for you? I mean, this has changed from what you're doing, and all we're doing is asking questions about Coach Miller, which rightly so. But how have you been able to handle this? Have you gotten enough sleep, or have you been worrying about it?
To be honest, I mean, the focus is on him. We're just trying to be a little bit of a bridge between Coach Miller and the girls, because they're obviously concerned as well. But it's a situation where our staff has been together for 11 seasons now, so we want to keep our routine as similar as we can, as if Coach Miller were here. Obviously, it's will not be the same since he's not, but we've been together for 11 years, and we feel as prepared as well as we could have for a situation like this to happen.
So would you say there's any difficulties taking over the head coaching duty?
As I said during the press conference after Saturday's game, all assistant coaches are considered good guys. Head coaches are considered bad guys because head coaches control playing time. So the title of my hat has changed. I've gone to more of a bad guy because I was the one having to sub in people during the Central game. But I've tried to really lean on our tri-captains, Danielle Havel, Jessica Slagle, and Chrissy Steffen. And we will meet with them again later tonight just to get a good feel of how the team is doing emotionally, physically. It was a very physical game at Central. But we did have the day off yesterday, and I instructed all of them not to even come into the building, saying it was a long 4 games in 11-day stretch where they needed a break, and it was a good mental health day for them as well as a day off. But bottom line, we're going on about our business, and if we did not, I think I'd probably get more messages like, what the heck you doing? But we've been together 11 seasons, and we're proud of that, and we feel like we can know what each other's thinking, so we're confident in continuing to go forward.
You just keep practicing the same way and everything, just
Yes.
keep the same flow?
Yes, I did yell a little bit more than usual. I tried to take some of his role with that, but we're going to stay. As I told the girls during our pregame talk, we're not going to ask someone to try and play above and beyond what they're capable of. I'm not going to ask Alexis Rogers to get 50 points. I'm not going to ask Jessica Slagle to try and have 15 assists or do something out of her comfort zone. I want them to be them, and we're going to be ourselves as well as a coaching staff.
Going into Saturday's game, were you comfortable with yourself, as, you know, you were not going to be making suggestions, you were going to be making decisions?
It was an adjustment. I'm not gonna lie, for sure. As you coach longer and longer in this profession, the game does slow down for you, and you're able to see things. And the game definitely sped up. I did feel like I had to yell at some officials for some calls that they missed. I had to, make some play calls here and there, but with Brandy and Kevin behind me too, we were able to collaborate as a group and make some calls and adjustments during the game, for sure. But yeah, I wish I attended church more, but considering I didn't go yesterday, Saturday was baptism by fire for me, for sure. But it was something that the game flowed, and it is what it is. He was not there for the game, so we just had next person stepped up. If I were to be out sick, someone else would step up as well and take over my responsibility. So it's like I keep emphasizing, we've been together for 11 years. We know what each other's thinking a lot of the times.
Maybe you'll have a better answer tonight after you talk to the captains. What's your general sense, though, how the team is dealing with this?
I think they're honestly dealing with it better now, because now we've had a couple practices without Coach Miller. We had the game, and I think it would be a little bit harder had we not won the game. That's pretty much a no-brainer statement. The bus ride back was a lot more fun, pulling it out in the overtime win. I'm really impressed with the leadership shown by our kids after they made that last-second bucket to force overtime. They said in the huddle, even before the coaches could get to them, hey, let's score the first two possessions of this and put this game out of reach, and we did that. So they're the ones that stepped up and played extremely well and confident. I thought we came out with a lot more energy than Central did in that overtime period.
On a day-to-day basis, how is Kurt feeling? Is he feeling well, or?
The text messages that I've said that I've received from him is similar. He'll have a headache. What we released in the press statement last week. I mean, he has all of his faculties. Stroke sounds a lot worse than what you would think. You think of stroke, you think of cancer, but you don't think of walking pneumonia and stroke in the same sentence. But he's fine. He's resting daily, and like I said, just kind of got a couple more appointments and just day to day. If I knew more, I would, but I think he's probably intentionally keeping us out of the loop. So, because he knew what this press conference would be like, but he's going to be fine. Bottom line.
What about Northern Illinois then?
This is another game where going against Sue Guevara at Central Michigan, her first head coaching gig was in 1979. Mine is 2012. Kathy Bennett has a similar pedigree where she's been a head coach for multiple years, has gone to the NCAA tournament with Indiana University. She sells defensive videos through Championship Basketball Magazine. She is a legend in this profession. She has really, as I told the team, she's made her money at the defensive end, and we will have our work cut out for us because they will try and limit possessions. They will try and turn this game into a half-court game. We want to push the ball as fast as we can. and make it an up-tempo game. We need the game in the 70s. We don't need the game in the 50s for us to be successful. But she is a tremendous coach. We have recruited against them, so this is another big game for us in the recruiting aspect as well. We have a kid from the Chicago area that I know their staff looked at, and Jasmine Matthews, but she is a fantastic X's and O's coach, and we will have to come out with even more focus than what we did against Central Michigan. We were extremely disappointed with our first 3 out of 4 possessions, like I keep saying, against Central that were turnovers, and we did not look real sharp like we had been practicing. So we will have to come out with continued focus and a better focus, because they will try and limit us at the defensive end and want to turn the game into a half-court game.
At least early against Central, did the kids seem disoriented without their
Actually, no, I don't
stoppings?
think they did. We kept to our routine. We had this same pregame talk, wrote on the board just like he would. I didn't notice any butterflies or anxiety or nervousness by anybody, but you know, when you're starting Jess Slagle, a senior captain, she doesn't get nervous about a lot of things. And you've got Alexis Rogers and Chrissy and Jasmine Matthews out there. And I mean, Jasmine has started so many games right now, she's almost considered a sophomore. We feel really confident with what she's been able to bring. And if she was the one that was nervous, it didn't show, because she ended up having 10 points in the first half and finished with a career-high 14 that game. But I didn't see any nervousness or glossy-eyed or anything like that. I will say the environment was very reminiscent of Anderson Arena up in Mount Pleasant. The band was crazy, their fans were loud, they were all over me, they were all over the kids. It was just a great college game to be a part of. So I think our kids weren't expecting that, and I told them after the game, you don't know what Mount Pleasant is like till you experience Mount Pleasant. So it's one of those things you have to be there to understand it.
These next 2 games, Northern and Western, and I'm sorry to look ahead a bit, but these are not the upper tier teams in the West, at least what we would call. With all the distractions and things like that, is there any fear of looking past? You know, Toledo's in a week. These are not the glamour teams. I mean,
Honestly, I have not said the word Toledo to our kids at all this year. So I mean, so far in this prep. And to be honest with you, Western Michigan, we lost last year up there at their place. So we will remind the team about that. In Northern Illinois, it's last year when we played in DeKalb, it was what our kids called Snowmageddon. We were stuck there for 3 days. It was the worst blizzard since 1978, and we were fortunate to escape. They had a senior who just took the game over. At one point, Marquis Freeman had 18 points, and we had 18 points as a team. So I'm really glad that she is playing overseas professionally right now, and I don't have to see her again. But this is a game last year with Northern where we escaped for sure, but there were some extenuating circumstances in that game. I think there were a whopping 10 people at that game too. It was just not and Jason Knavel and the men's staff, I should say, were there. So it was great having their support, and we actually got stuck there, and we stayed, and it supported the men the next day too. But it is a huge game in the sense that it was a battle to the very last 2 minutes against Northern, and we lost to Western Michigan. So I would be extremely disappointed if our kids were looking ahead, and I don't think they are, because we have already talked to them about what had happened in the past with last year. And I don't know if that helps that I'm a history major and I can't let them forget, but I will keep reiterating the importance of each game. But we're constantly telling the kids 1 game at a time, and we've preached that throughout our 11 years here. Coach Miller has emphasized that day in and day out. You never want to get too high, you never want to get too low. We enjoyed the Central win, but as soon as we got to work this morning, we were already focused on Northern.
has this team been good at keeping its focus on the task at hand?
Yes. You would think having 9 freshmen and sophomores that they would struggle with the task at hand per se, but they've responded very well. This team, more than any other team, I think has grown more so from day 1 to day 99, I believe is what we're on. So they've done a great job. If they had not grown together as a team, we would probably be having some more team meetings and talking about camaraderie and talking about this, that, and the other, but we have not had to do that.
And what Northern Illinois, some of the players specifically to watch for, and how do we match up with those people?
Courtney Shelton is a phenomenal shooter for them. She's actually playing a little bit of a combo. I should say she's playing more point guard than she has in the past, but she was 5 of 10 at the arc against Kent State. We will have to take away her three ball. They have a couple athletic kids inside as well. They will not. They're not going to start 6'4", 6'3". They're starting kids where our post players are going to look eyeball to eyeball, but as I told them, they're crafty scorers. They're more finesse inside. They can, as opposed to having a big 6'4", 300-pound kid in there where you got to bang and bang against. They are crafty scorers. They will run some motion and a handful of other sets that we have to prepare for. But this is a game where they, as I said earlier, they will want to control tempo, limit the number of possessions that we have, and we were trying to do the exact opposite. If you would have seen us at practice today, we worked on nothing but transition, and really looking to push the ball. We need the game in the 70s, and they will want the game to be more of a half-court game. So we will have to push the ball in order for us to be successful. And it's going to be kind of a clash of two type of philosophies as well. So if they get the better of us and we have to slug it out, then it will be a battle.
Anything else?